and these have been judged by our president, John Adams. He's also a former chair of the NGA, and obviously himself a governor with considerable experience. And he's going to present the awards, and I'd also like Mandy Parsons to come up. She's the other judge. It's like, because these two have worked extremely hard at judging these awards and done an enormous amount of travelling. In fact, I'm going to be having words with you, John, about your expenses claim later. I actually have a bicycle I'm quite willing to lend you should you be asked to do this job again. But over to you now, John, for the awards.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. I don't think I'll take you up on your offer of a bicycle ride from North Yorkshire to Leatherhead, for example. I have three tasks to perform this afternoon. The first is simply to read out the names of the shortlisted candidates, the ones that we visited, and invite them to come forward and be greeted by Lord Nash and have their photo taken. The second is to say just a few words about the judging process that we undertook. And then thirdly, of course, to announce the winner. I won't delay the winner's name melodramatically. This isn't Strictly Come Clerk. but you will want to know who the winner is. That's why we're here. So could I just ask the shortlisted candidates, as it were, move forward, come towards the lectern, and I will simply read out your names in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Carolyn Chowdhury from Hainslow School.
So we can turn around, it's the right way around.
There's now one fewer awards. Secondly, Kate Davenport from Manham Primary in Hertfordshire. Sarah Edwards from the Open Academy in Norfolk. Beth Morgan from Yesgol Bringwan in You have to blame Google Translate. Karen Stainsby. And finally, Natalie Whetstone from St Lawrence Primary in Leatherhead. It's conventional in these things, I think, for the judges to say that the standard was very, very high and it was very, very difficult to judge. So I'll just say that the standard was very, very high and it was very, very difficult to judge. And an interesting and challenging task it was. We were really looking, I think that the job of clerking boils down to really three things. Firstly, there's, as it were, the paperwork, the agendas, the minutes, getting reports in and all that sort of stuff. Sounds a little tedious, but we all know that if that's done really well, that can facilitate meetings and make it move along swiftly and seamlessly. And that's a very, very important part, clearly. The second thing we were looking for was the governor's clerk as the professional guidance in the room, as the person who the governing body could go to for knowledge on the law, on regulations, particularly since they keep changing every 35 minutes, on the latest initiative, whatever that might happen to be, and so on. And as I've emphasised with previous ministers over many years, the clerk is the only professional that the governing body have to hand in that meeting, and that's a really, really important role. And we were looking, obviously, for expertise in that. And the final thing we were looking for is what I think is now called person skills. In other words, people who, in their role as clerk, don't put people's backs up, but also are clear and clear-cut in their advisory role and their guidance of decision making. We asked every group we interviewed, we asked them whether or not the clerk ever intervenes in a meeting. And they all said yes. They said, well, why wouldn't you intervene? Well, clearly if someone was saying something that simply isn't true, which does happen, I'm sure, you might intervene. But also, I particularly said, what would you do if awkward old Harry in the corner is going on and on about his favourite thing? What, would you intervene? And all our shortlisting candidates, in one way or another, said yes, that they would. How would you do that? Well, the most popular phrase was, after old Harry's been going on for 10 minutes, how would you like me to minute this conversation? Which normally, of course, meant I'd like you to minute it by throttling it. So finally, we come to the winner. It was truly a difficult decision, but we were unanimous. We felt that there was one individual who stood out and displayed all of those characteristics even better than the rest. And so the winner of the NGA Clerk of the Year for 2013 is Carolyn Chowdhury.
Marking gets no better than this. Well done, Karen. Well done.